Your brand new iPhone deserves the best protection, and the iLune 3-pack screen protector plus 3-pack camera lens protector has you covered. Don't take risks with your iPhone. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
How Virginia Giuffre's brave new life is being ripped apart as she splits from husband who saved her from Epstein. Barely able to open her eyes and covered in black facial bruising, the most high-profile survivor of Jeffrey Epstein's horrifying sex trafficking has claimed she is now on death's door. In a heartbreaking Instagram post, Virginia Giuffre said yesterday that she had been given 4 days to live after suffering kidney failure following a collision between her car and a school bus. The mum of 3, 41, said she is ready to go after what she cryptically described as the worst start to a new year, before adding, "Just not until I see my babies one last time." Despite claims from Australian police that there was a minor crash and no injuries were reported, Virginia's father Sky Roberts told the Daily Mail she is in really bad shape. The tragic news follows a difficult time for the sex abuse survivor. After it emerged, she has split from her husband of 2 decades, Robert Giuffre, and become estranged from her children. Sky described feeling sick to my stomach after the crash, and while he admitted their relationship was strained, he professed, "I feel like crying. I love my daughter more than life." He revealed Virginia had been very depressed recently, adding that he was hoping she can hang on amid her family life struggles and that her younger brother is trying to get her spirits up so she doesn't just give up. This devastating development follows decades of trauma from the harrowing abuse at the hands of Epstein, his Madame Giuffre Maxwell, and allegedly scores of wealthy associates. Cruelly, convicted sex offender Epstein avoided justice after being found dead in his cell in 2019. But Maxwell, who she dubbed the devil's right-hand man, was jailed in 2022. The British socialite, daughter of Robert Maxwell, was sentenced to 20 years imprisonment for her role in the scheme to sexually exploit and abuse young girls. Virginia's claims embroiled scores of Epstein's associates, including Prince Andrew, who denied all allegations but settled a lawsuit with her in 2022, with a rumored payout of £12 million. But as her shocking new post has revealed, even after escaping the cycle of abuse, the ripples of trauma have continued to haunt Virginia to this day. In recent years, Virginia has forged a quiet new life with her family in a £1 million seaside 6-bedroom home in Ocean Reef, Perth, Australia. She revealed how in the wake of the grueling case against Maxwell, she found solace in yoga and taking long walks with her dog Juno to help clear my mind as much as possible. Nonetheless, the battle has clearly taken a toll on not only Virginia, but her husband and their 3 children. "All of my family has been affected," she admitted, adding of her kids, "They see what I've talked about. They have friends that Google my name and say, 'Oh my God, is this your mom?'" Understandably, Virginia's ordeal has made her extra protective of her children, who she has taught about sex trafficking and the signs to watch out for. She said, "I don't want them going through life constantly looking over their shoulder thinking, 'Well, it happened to my mom, so it can happen to me.' But I do want them to be aware that the world is a big place, and it's easy to get trapped." Virginia acknowledged it's a lot for them to carry, and they had seen her go through hell and back, especially around the time of Maxwell's trial. At that time, she barely slept, due to haunting dreams of the couple abusing her and regularly waking up in the middle of the night to start Googling Giuffre Maxwell to see if there had been any progress. "In those dreams, I relive the awful things you and others did to me and the things you forced me to do," she told Maxwell in court. In the weeks before her horrific crash, Virginia appeared to hint at fresh troubles in her life. In a haunting last post before the accident, on March 22, she wrote, "My beautiful babies have no clue how much I love them, and they're being poisoned with lies. I miss them so very much. I have been through hell and back in my 41 years, but this is incredibly hurting me worse than anything else. Hurt me, abuse me, but don't take my babies. My heart is shattered, and every day that passes my sadness only deepens." The posts have raised questions over her marriage to Robert, who she met at a massage school in Thailand in 2002. The couple previously lived on the Central Coast and Queensland in Australia, as well as Florida and Colorado in the United States, and she has credited her husband with rescuing her from Epstein. But in the wake of their reported split, it's claimed Virginia has been struggling due to not being able to see her kids. This is coupled with a difficult relationship with her father, who previously admitted he found what his daughter went through distressing, and he doesn't like to think about it too much. Due to being 11,350 miles away, they don't see each other often, and Skye recently said, "There's nothing I can do from here. I'm on Social Security, so I can't fly out. I'd love to be by her side and support her." It's been a long road for Virginia, whose trauma started long before meeting Epstein and Maxwell when her childhood was quickly taken away. From the age of 7, she claimed to have been sexually abused by a family friend, which left her so mentally scarred that she started smoking weed, regularly skipped school, and eventually ran away from home. Virginia bounced between foster care homes until she was 14, when she ended up living on the streets finding nothing, except for hunger and pain and more abuse. While homeless, she fell into the clutches of evil sex trafficker Ron Eppinger, who held her captive in his Miami apartment for 6 months, where he pimped her out to pedophiles. The monster, who used the cover of running the modeling agency, Perfect 10, would plead guilty to various prostitution charges, trafficking and money laundering after being indicted in 2000 following an FBI investigation. Soon after, Virginia returned to live with her father, where she hoped for a new beginning away from the agonizing abuse she suffered in the past. Tragically, it wouldn't last. Her father, Skye, landed her a locker room attendant job at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort in Palm Beach, where he worked as a maintenance man. One day, while reading a book on massage therapy, she was approached by Maxwell, who was poised and sophisticated with a prim and proper accent, and offered her a job interview. Epstein's madam wooed Virginia with promises to educate her and make her a real massage therapist, which would allow her to travel the world and make the money. His appetite was insatiable. He wanted new girls, fresh, young faces every single day. That was just the sickness that he had. "The deceit hurts even more because I feel naively into her trap. You tell that to any 16-year-old and they're going to jump at it," she told The Cut. Lured back to Epstein's pink mansion, Maxwell told her to massage Epstein, who was lying naked, and the pair probed her about her life, earning her trust. "I told them I'd had a really hard time in my life up until then. I'd been a runaway, I'd been sexually abused, physically abused," she told BBC Panorama. "That was the worst thing I could have told them, because now they knew how vulnerable I was." On her very first night at Epstein's mansion, Virginia claimed she was forced to have sex with both the multimillionaire and Maxwell. "The shade just went over my eyes again, and I thought, this is what life must be about," Virginia recalled. The abuse would escalate as she was allegedly forced to sexually pleasure Epstein's wealthy pals. "It started with one and it trickled into two and so on, and before you know it, I'm being lent out to politicians and academics and royalty," Virginia told the Miami Herald. His appetite was insatiable. He wanted new girls, fresh, young faces every single day. That was just the sickness that he had. In a deposition, Virginia claimed Epstein once told her he needed 3 orgasms a day, and that it was biological, like eating for him. Among Virginia's alleged abusers was renowned U.S. lawyer Alan Dershowitz and Prince Andrew, both of whom have strongly denied her claims and have not faced charges. The latter previously claimed to have never met Virginia despite being pictured with his arm around her waist beside Maxwell in 2001, and even alleged the photograph was a fake. "I was still scared to death. I just didn't want my family harmed." Despite traveling regularly with Virginia, her father was unaware of what was going on and admitted he later questioned how he couldn't see any signs of the abuse. "She's a very good actress. When she would come home from these trips, she said nothing about it," Skye said. "It must have been killing her inside, but powerful people like that, they can threaten a young girl like that." By 2002, Epstein had lost interest in Virginia due to her being too old at the age of 19, and as part of her escape, she asked for him to pay for her training as a massage therapist. He agreed, flying her to an international training school in Thailand, but only on the agreement that she would meet a young girl there and bring her back to the U.S. There she met husband Robert, whom she married after 10 days and moved to Australia to start a new life. Later, she credited him with having rescued me from Epstein and Maxwell's clutches. Upon telling Epstein that she would not traffic the young Thai girl and planned to escape, he responded, "Have a nice life," and hung up the phone. For years, Virginia buried the trauma. Even in 2007, when the FBI contacted her as part of their investigation into Epstein, she initially refused to cooperate. Around that time, she allegedly received a call from Maxwell accusing her of talking to the police, and she believes the couple had someone call her to probe for information under the guise of being a government investigator. She refused to speak to them, admitting, "I was still scared to death, I just didn't want my family harmed." It wasn't until 2010 that Virginia decided to reveal her abuse shortly after the birth of her daughter, her third child, because she didn't want her little girl growing up in a world that is so vicious. Her campaign for justice has led to the imprisonment of Maxwell and wider conversation to end the statute of limitations, a time limit in which survivors can press charges against their attackers. By Katie Davis. A string of Epstein's former friends and associates were left red-faced last year by a cache of unsealed court documents. Some 215 files were released as part of a 2015 defamation lawsuit brought by Giuffre against Maxwell. Delivered in several anticipated drops, the files revealed inner workings of Epstein's world. And it also dragged a sprinkling of previously unmentioned celebrities and politicians into the mix. These were some of the biggest revelations. Andrew, Clinton and Branson sex tape claims. Epstein victim Sarah Ransom wrote emails to a reporter in 2016 claiming the Duke, Bill Clinton, and billionaire businessman Sir Richard Branson were filmed having sex by Epstein on separate occasions. She later retracted the claims and told The New Yorker in 2019 she had invented the tapes to draw attention to Epstein's behavior and to make him believe that she had evidence that would come out if he harmed me. But last January, she stood by allegations she made in 2016 that the tapes had existed and claimed she had been forced to withdraw them when her family was threatened by Maxwell and others. All of the above have always vehemently denied any wrongdoing over their association with Epstein, and no tapes have ever emerged publicly. Stephen Hawking's underage orgy. The doc drop revealed an email that had been sent from Epstein to Maxwell that showed the billionaire asking her to issue a reward to any of Giuffre's friends who come forward and help prove her allegations are false. Among the allegations listed by Epstein in the email were a Clinton dinner and a claim that Stephen Hawking participated in an underage orgy. In the message, Epstein suggested Giuffre had made claims about both the British scientist and former U.S. President Bill Clinton. The email read, "You can issue a reward to any of Virginia's friends, acquaintances, family that come forward and help prove her allegations are false. The strongest is the Clinton dinner, and the new version in the Virgin Islands that Stephen Hawking participated in an underage orgy." In 2015, photos emerged showing Hawking, who died in 2018 aged 76, being hosted on Epstein's private Caribbean island before he was first charged in 2006. The internationally renowned physicist was pictured at a barbecue on Little St. James, often referred to as Epstein's Pedo Island. He was part of a group of 21 scientists attending a conference in March 2006, which Epstein had funded. Duke of York's underage orgy. A woman named only as Jane Doe 3, but understood to be his high-profile accuser Virginia Giuffre, alleged she was forced into sexual relations with Prince Andrew. The accuser alleged the encounters took place at 3 locations, including on Epstein's private island, in an orgy with numerous other underage girls. The alleged victim said she was to give the prince whatever he demanded, and also told to report back to Epstein the details of the sexual abuse. The Duke has always strenuously denied the resurfaced allegations. Andrew and a puppet. During testimony in May 2016, a woman named Johanna S. Joberg, 42, claimed Prince Andrew had groped her when she was 21. She alleged that the Duke used a puppet of himself to touch her breast while sitting on a couch inside Epstein's Manhattan apartment in March 2001. Buckingham Palace previously blasted the allegations as categorically untrue. Bill Clinton likes them young. In S. Joberg's interview under oath, she said Epstein had told her that former President Bill Clinton likes them young, referring to girls. In 2019, Clinton's spokesman said he knew nothing about the terrible crimes Jeffrey Epstein pleaded guilty to, and that the pair had not spoken in over a decade. "If I could change those laws, I could wipe my brow, dust my hands off, and feel like I made a difference," Virginia said. Her other goal has been to embolden other survivors and show them there is life after the atrocities they suffered, which she cited as the reason for telling my story over and over again. Many will hope she can draw on such reserves of strength and defy the odds once more in the face of yet another damning new obstacle.